that lived on the garbage heap by offering him scraps. I got this dumb idea from a movie. Luckily, the rat was smarter than I was and wisely kept his distance. The Kurds were great co-workers. They planned my future career for me. "We'll teach you to cook," they promised. "You won't have to wash dishes all your life." That's what I too was hoping. So I learned to make burritos, fry chicken, and squirt sauce on the tacos exactly as they did. Until one day my cell phone rang. Someone had told the owner of another restaurant about the guy who was willing to work off the books. The other owner wanted to make me a better offer. This time I'd get as much as my teacher mom in Poland earned in a month in 3 days instead of 4. Plus I'd be promoted to assistant cook. Without a second thought, I said adios to the Kurds. 2 days later, I was putting on a black apron and taking up my post by the gas stove in a small but popular restaurant just off Norobroga, one of the city's main arteries. This time there were 2 of us manning the kitchen. The owner, whose name was August, and me, Witold, his assistant. August was half Cuban and half Polish, but he'd been raised in Chicago and didn't know a word of either Spanish or Polish. He'd spent most of his life working as a cook on cargo ships. The restaurant was meant to provide his pension. Until the clients appeared, you could talk to August quite normally. But as soon as the lunch hour came, and out of our 8 tables, let's say 6 were occupied, the devil got into him. The pans would rattle, the plates would fly, and August would scream. He'd hurl vulgar abuse at all his staff, with his wife bearing the brunt of it. She ran the bar and was also his business partner. "August," I finally declared, after the latest of these outbursts, "if you speak to me that way once more, I'll fling my apron to the floor and be out of here." August just smiled. "Witold, I've worked in the kitchen all my life. I know who I can and cannot shout at." Seeing the amazed look on my face, he added, "We work together all day long, just the 2 of us, in 40 square feet. I may yell at you, but you're the last person I want to pick a fight with." So his fury was controlled. At that point, it occurred to me that he could have been a diplomat just as well as a cook. It was the first time I'd seen how crafty and cunning chefs can be. Once the situation in the dining room settled down, August's blood pressure would come down too. Then he'd tell stories about the sea. He'd spent half his life there, and he missed it. His tales were full of dolphins, whales, storms, and solitary yachtsmen whom he'd passed in his huge ship. There were tropical islands and frozen Greenland. The whole world was there. When we were free from customers, August became a wonderful, warm, intelligent guy with a great sense of humor. Then the diners would come back, and he'd go nuts again. I observed his mood swings for several months. Every day we cooked together, and I helped him come up with the dishes for a new menu. It was like magic. I felt as if we were painting the Mona Lisa together. One day August chilled a bottle of the strong stuff. We sat in the kitchen until late at night, while I chopped the vegetables and meat, and he used them to make ever more fanciful creations. But there the comparison with painting ends. Leonardo didn't have to paint his Mona Lisa over and over again, 7 days a week. But we churned out the dishes from August's menu dozens of times a day. August taught me how to hold a knife without cutting myself, and how to take bread out of the oven without burning myself. He taught me to cook steak and how to make salad and a great cream of leek soup. He even taught me what stance to adopt in the kitchen to make it easier to stay on my feet all day. He also taught me that if there were any fancy fruits left on the plates after the Sunday brunch we were famous for, raspberries, for instance, or lychees, or Cape gooseberries in their papery brown cases, we should give them a rinse and put them on the next customer's plate. "They're too expensive to throw out," he explained, seeing the horrified look on my face. Until one day, all 8 of our tables were occupied in 5 minutes flat, and there was still